Hello everyone, and welcome to our Let's Talk About Things. I don't really know what to call it. And I'm joined here by Sapare. Yay, say hello.
Nope, you're not. I'm not here.
Oh,
I'm
Sapare's too
Twilight
embarrassed.
Sparkle. Not sure why I'm like quoting his Twilight Sparkle singing in front of my microphone, but it's certainly gonna make you guys see her.
Yeah, actually, I'm doing this super unprofessionally. Let's just,
Not do a sound test.
yeah, let's totally not do a sound test. Do you want to restart?
Do I? Do our viewers want to restart?
I don't know. Do you think they want to restart?
This is stupid. Let's just keep going.
Stupid. Yeah, okay. So Sapare's gonna be a little loud there for a bit, so we're announcing shit. But it's fine. So, first off, we're announcing that Sapare has a thing that he's writing. So, you should tell them about
Dude,
that.
I didn't know about that.
Huh?
I didn't know I was writing something.
Oh, you didn't? I was pretty sure it was about the Celestia and the Luna fighting before Luna got banished to the moon.
Did she like bananas?
I think she does like bananas.
Good. But yes, so as Greenmeat said, it's a story that I'm writing, which I guess considering that I said before that I'm writing is not that surprising, but I wasn't writing for a long time. So it's something completely new, which I update every day. Which gets really tiring, but hey, it's interesting too.
It sure is.
It's an experimental work, I would say, considering that I'm writing it one chapter a day, and all the chapters in random order, so you can get really confused reading it. And then I'm writing it from two people's point of views, and kind of switching between each point of view every chapter.
Yep.
I'm not good at advertising my stuff, but that's pretty much the concept.
It's fine. Just trust me, everyone. I've been like helping him proofread it. I haven't been full on editing it because I'm too lazy, and no one has time for that shit except people who do, which I'm not one of them.
Except the guy who sits down every day and writes.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't have time for that thing. I'm too busy doing things like sexually harassing my halberd.
Thank God he did not call it an axe. He probably butchered pronunciation or whatever the word is supposed to be pronounced as, but he did not call it an axe. Anyway,
what about this here axe?
You can go fuck your ears.
Oh, I'd rather fuck your ears though. They're so soft.
God. Anyway. Do we want to say anything else about that, or do we want to go to the actually main topic of this?
Well, we do want to say, I want to say that we'll link that and Sapare's general, things in the description, his, fanfiction account, so...
Oh, I really appreciate comments. Negative or positive. Admittedly, I probably am gonna be honest enough to admit I appreciate positive ones more than negative ones, but any comments are nice.
Yes.
Writing something and getting no comments for any period length of time is very disheartening work.
Yes.
Kind of like making videos. Not getting any comments.
We get plenty comments.
That's what I said, but I know the history of making videos and not getting any comments.
Oh yeah. Which is unfortunate. But yes, you had a long career before me.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So comment, read, do shit.
Yeah, do whatever you want, you know. If you really want, you can fap to him, and you can be like, hey, Sapare, I fap to this.
Don't know when someone is gonna fap to people, ponies, like, killing each other, but hey, I'm not gonna judge.
Yeah, I'm sure there's someone. I fapped some weird stuff sometimes.
I think this topic has gone too far.
I think it has. But hey,
let's go to the more better topic then.
Let's go to the fact that I saw Equestria Girls, and so we're going to do a little thing on that, a little rant on it. So I have to say, I was completely amazed, and I thought it was sexy. and I liked it. It wasn't actually sexy though, because they were only ponies for like a little bit of the movie.
Time that they were ponies, they were incredibly sexy.
Yes, indeed.
And I'm probably, the funny thing is, now I'm probably gonna be the more pessimistic one of us two. Which I guess I'm always, so it's okay.
Probably so, because, and admittedly, ironically, like, you probably made the movie better for me mentioning that it was fun, because if you just objectively think of it as fun and not try to worry about the other stuff, it's fun.
It's a fun movie. I'm never gonna say it's not a fun movie. I say it's the best that they could have done. Yeah. But it's still stupid. Well, it's a dumb movie, but it's supposed to be a dumb movie.
Well, yeah, exactly. And that's kind of how I feel. I mean, you know, I really liked a lot of the things that they brought to the table, but there's just so much stuff that, yeah, there's no way they could have made it make sense. It just had to be over the top and stupid. Don't make it canon.
The canon got fucking raped upside down.
Yeah, I hope to God next season we don't see... What was that guy's name again? Flash Dick?
Flash Sentry.
Flash Sentry? Okay.
I actually saw this OC. He's really fucking sexy, just saying, but...
Yeah. I remember... Oh, sorry, you can...
Just saying that the story overall... let's just say the elements of harmony got raped. Pretty much. The way the element of magic and all that fucking stuff works, that just got, like, destroyed.
I guess it kind of did, didn't it? But I've never been full-on sure how it works. But at the same time...
But when a random pony can put it on who is a villain and just use it...
Yeah, well, actually...
Then that kind of destroys the point of them being elements of harmony. Yeah, they're just guns.
That kind of does, and in fact, I was also going to mention that the fact that they're dangerous in any pony's hands, and yet, without the elements of harmony, the main six... who aren't even the real main six, did the exact same thing that the elements of harmony do. So, why do they need them?
Because magic?
I guess, because, I mean,
it's been too long that I've actually seen the movie, I don't even remember all the things in it.
Oh,
I just know that, I just know that the lore of the elements of harmony got kinda destroyed, because how the way that anyone, like it's now it's like this thing that, like, anyone... If they pick it up, they could use it. Now it's actually pretty much Yu-Gi-Oh! God cards, where like, oh, if the void is among hands, they can destroy the whole void. But it's like, you know, the only reason that these ponies can use them eventually was because they represented them. Like, Rainbow Dash could become like the most murderous bitch ever and just like kill all your friends, and she could still use the element of loyalty. Like, what?
Yeah,
it kind of destroys half the fanfiction on it.
Yeah, well, like you said, just hopefully they don't make it canon, but I still go with my theory, too, which is actually, I didn't even think about it until we started getting into it, but, yeah, because that's how they start Starshine Shimmer. I think that's what she's called.
My character's name's Starshine.
Oh.
He's got, like, something else. Sunshine Shimmer, maybe?
Sunshine, yeah, Sunshine Shimmer. So, that's a tongue twister. So she's called...
What a twist!
Yes. So Sunshine Shimmer, she puts on this crown, and, you know, she becomes super evil because somehow that's how the element of harmony works.
Oh yeah, we have spoilers, let's just say that.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So we said it now, but yeah. Now that I said that, she turns into a fucking devil.
Yeah, she basically turns
so why am I trying to impersonate Spony?
I don't know.
You never seen too much of him. I talk like him, I think.
That's understandable. I have those occasional things where I'll do that. But, so she basically turns into the devil, and then what happens is the main six, well, then she turns everyone else evil, and Snips and Sails are forever like, oh man, we'll suck a dick, because you're so sexy, and so she turns them evil, and then she turns everyone into zombies, and the main six just do their usual thing. It's like, you know, they're not exactly the main six, but they're basically the main six, and they all do the super rainbow thing that they do from the elements of harmony, and they grow, like, their wings and stuff, and become awesome. awesome.
It goes her wings to lose them 5 seconds later. That was like, wow. It's like suddenly growing like a dick, and then like 5 seconds later, being like, oh, now I'm a woman again.
Yeah.
It's something you're gonna be missing for the rest of your life.
You probably would, yeah. I certainly would. I did feel bad. Like, that's one of those things I'm like, I know they're not gonna write the story and to make it sad like that, but I'm sure there'll be plenty of fan fictions about like Rainbow Dash just raping people because she doesn't have her wings.
Why they took away the wings? I didn't like. Why did they take them away again? Like they could have just kept it.
I'm not really sure. I don't understand. I don't even understand why they exist in the first place. I certainly don't understand why they took them away.
Just seems like a relevant plot point. Like, oh yeah, you're gonna lose them again. Okay. But yeah, what I want to say, if we are gonna start off with the ending, and I guess we go to what the beginning. So we're gonna go off the opposite direction because that's how we started off.
Pretty much.
Maybe this is just me. What my main problem is, like, I actually like the first, like, 3 quarters the most, and I dislike the last quarter, not counting in the parts when she's actually back in Equestria. But I did not like the whole conclusion part, which is the whole putting on the crown and turning demon and all that. It just gave me such a strong SpongeBob the movie vibe. And I love that movie, but the funny thing is, it made me think, well, SpongeBob did exactly this, and it did it better. Because it's SpongeBob, it's like everyone is like brainwashed, and then SpongeBob out of fucking nowhere like pulls out like a guitar and does this like music thingy, and just like for no reason the music thingy, like it's like, oh yeah, it's too much rock and roll, it overloads as a brainwash thingy, and everyone becomes normal again. It's like they did it so silly, like they knew that this was fucking silly, and this movie feels exactly like that.
Yeah, they did do it pretty silly. I haven't seen that in a while, actually, so I was at first like, what are you talking about? Then you mentioned that, I'm like, oh man, I freaking remember that.
But it's like the kind of same thing where, like,
yeah.
Suddenly, I think in the SpongeBob thing, it was supposed to be a joke on, like, when, like, when the characters, like, do, like, a speech, and then, for whatever reason, the speech fixes everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And SpongeBob just does his, like, rock and roll song, and, like, for no reason, it fixes everything. But it was so awesome. But here, it's like, they do their speech, and it fixes everything. I'm like, this is kind of what SpongeBob parodied, and SpongeBob is really silly.
Yeah, SpongeBob is really silly. I think they did a fine job of it here, but it isn't amazing. But it's one of those things that has that thing that... It's one of those things that you either hate it or you like it, and if it's done right, and... I
did not like it, mostly because... With most of the movie, like, I can say they were obviously going for it, like they knew how silly everything was, so it just made it over the top silly. And here it was over the top silly, but the thing is, it didn't actually feel funny. And that, like, it just felt like a really stupid way to make the story conclude, but without actually being funny in its stupidity. Like, it's SpongeBob, it's hilarious, but here, just, like...
Yeah,
you're kind of like doing the tropes, but that doesn't excuse you doing the tropes.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Here, the only excuse I could find is the fact that there was something about that felt awesome, but it still didn't feel necessarily good. But I was still hyped when I saw Rainbow Dash get her wings, and I was like, yeah. But that was mainly it.
Thing at all, actually.
Huh?
And the other bad piece of that was that I did not like the diverse things, because that, again, elements of harmony just got raped. Like, why does Celestia's element of magic crown motherfucking thingy turn you into a devil? Does this, like, did she, like, put this button on there that you can press to turn yourself into a devil? Like, do devils exist in MVP? Like, so many questions.
Yeah, that really is just a lot of questions.
They could have just turned her... What they should have just done is she puts on the crown, she turns into a pony version, and then she has magic because she's a unicorn, and then that's good enough. Don't turn her into something that is never gonna be explained. It's like if you had fucking Star Wars, and then suddenly the Borgs show up in like the last 2 minutes of the movie, and then they just leave again. It's like, what are the Borgs in Star Wars?
Yeah.
You guys call them Borgs, right? The cube guys, whatever the fuck they call it in Star Trek.
The yeah, I think that's right. Star Trek,
The guys assimilate.
Yeah. Oh wait, I feel like we're getting super confused here on what we're actually talking. Oh wait, yeah, those are I don't even know. I'm unfortunately not the best with Star Trek. Actually, you'd think I would be. I'm such a big nerd, but no, I actually haven't
I only
seen.
know it from like a Let's Play I watched. I've never actually
Oh,
watched a single episode of Star Trek.
I haven't either.
I watched the one movie,
Hmm.
the new
I
one.
watched.
The not the
Yeah.
newest one, but the new one.
Yeah, I watched that, and I was like, I'm sure there are a lot of people
I
don't like
liked it.
this.
I like that movie.
I don't remember it that well. It seems like for people who haven't seen it before, like me, it was actually fine. I personally liked it, but some of the things, there was the occasional thing that was weird, but that might have just been because I didn't remember it very
Really,
well.
I liked the Avatar movie, and not the shitty one. I like the one with the Smurfs in it.
You like the one that's mainly like spectacle, but yeah, which
Yeah,
is
I
really good
really
as
like that movie.
spectacle.
Actually, I watched it like 2 3 times because I liked it. Like I didn't go into the same 2 3 times, but I watched like a different those ones, so that adds
Yeah,
up. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was fun. It's actually very much like this movie. It was fun, and this
yeah,
movie was fun.
exactly.
But this one is stupid. That one was stupid. I mean, this one was more stupid than that one, but that just because the setup was already stupid.
Well, I almost want to argue, but I'm not sure. I think the only really stupid thing I can name off the top of my head, unobtainium. Fuck that name. Fucking unobtainium. That's so.
Oh, you mean that movie? Okay, so I saw you talking My Little Pony, but I argue, but that
No.
movie, right? That movie, like I said, it was kind of stupid. Where like people are like, oh, it's super old and predictable, and it's like, yeah, but like at least it didn't have major plot holes in it,
Yeah, exactly. I'm not
and
saying it's.
it was over the top, but it's an action movie about people going into other people. I don't know. It's not
Yeah.
supposed to be an action,
Yeah, I understand completely what you're saying.
but we are getting
And
sidetracked and talking about the wrong movie. Just saying, it's my
yeah,
fault.
you're
Yeah.
right. It's fine. Just yeah, most of it that is fine, and it is fine the way that it's over the top. I don't know. Just the name Unobtainium just felt so on the nose that even parody wise, it was just too stupid for. I was like, why would you call it Unobtainium? That's like no.
Elements of pony dick. That's our
That's
anatonium
Uh,
thingy.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I don't know. That'd be like if they called the elements of harmony, I don't know, the elements of the
Harmonic presence.
yeah, I'm not sure. The element of truth, the element of telling people things that are not lies.
Yeah, so I'm master at that one though. But yeah. Um.
Uh,
So back to the actual movie at hand. So that was actually probably the part of the movie I disliked the most. Well, I liked the least, disliked the most. However you want to word it.
yeah.
The
I
like
see what you're saying.
the way they concluded it just it was really weak actually conclusion wise, which it really has ever been a My Little Pony story like in all 3 seasons where the conclusion was not really weak. No offense to people who like the show. I love the show, but everything always concludes really weak from the big storylines.
Yeah,
The strongest conclusion was actually the Luna episode, but that was because like the
yeah,
Luna stuff, that one concluded the strongest.
that's what I was gonna say. And actually, that's something I think that's worth mentioning because a lot of people don't love the way, like they're like Lauren Faust's stuff wasn't the best. So I think Lauren Faust is it was probably the best writer when it came to the big spectacle stuff.
She was best at writing a coherent
Yeah,
storyline because her stuff
yeah.
was not thoughtfully written.
Right. Yeah, she wasn't trying to riddle in other stuff. She was just like, yeah, I'm gonna write a coherent story that follows a coherent plot line, and
Which admittedly, since then they have not been able to do it. The closest thing to a coherent storyline was the Samba stuff, and no one liked the Samba stuff.
I
That was
know.
boring, but like
I know. I'm always like, I like the somber stuff.
I don't remember it. Let's just say that. But I just know that it wasn't the cadence, whatever the princess, whatever, did Queen douchebag. I forgot her name right now. Queen, what was she named?
Cadence? Oh, you mean her full name?
No, the other one. The one who plays Cadence. Queen Chrysalis.
Oh,
Yeah,
Chrysalis.
yeah. The
Sorry.
Queen Chrysalis one. There's so many plot holes in it, and
Yeah.
just my point is like all of them have a lot of plot holes, but this movie has a lot of those. Like 2 minutes in, you can probably already point out the logical flaw in the storyline of this movie.
Yeah, yeah.
In
There's.
fact, I can point out like five just by the setup of it.
Yeah.
Why is the door not locked to the portal where the portal is open and she doesn't want anyone to go into it? Like, he would lock the fucking door. Why does she have the portal in the same castle as the one where she wants Twilight to show up with the crown? Because those are two like, she never wanted Twilight to go through the portal, I believe. So those were like two completely different quests she had going on there. But for whatever reason, she decided to put them on the same floor and like 5 meters away from each other.
I think suddenly, I think, like, normally Celeste is fine, but I think with this she officially became Lord British.
She became Lord British. But yeah, there's like super many of these where, like, these don't make any really coherent logical sense. This is just setting up the story for why Twilight goes over there.
Yeah, exactly. Which I'd say is actually
Okay, but actually doesn't make sense. Did they ever explain it in the movie? You've just watched it, so it's been longer for me. But Fluttershy picks up the crown, right?
Mm-hmm. She does.
The other pony goes through the portal like half a second after the crown goes through the portal. How the fuck did she not like notice this? It's not like there was like a minute difference. She's like, oh haha, Twilight, I beat you, and then she jumps through the portal. Second one, how does she know who Twilight is?
Yeah.
Why does she know who all of these ponies are? Which doesn't make any logical sense. She knows who all of these ponies are, even though they don't exist. Like, she wouldn't know about them yet.
You know, yeah, that's a fair point, actually. Like, the crown thing, I was already kind of, it sounds like you got a thing. Sorry, I probably should have paused.
No, it's fine.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, anyways, I was saying, oh yeah, the crown thing I'd already thought on, and I was like, well, that's weird, I'll just let it slide. But, you know, that's a fair point that I actually didn't catch. I don't know why I didn't catch. But yeah, she really shouldn't have that much knowledge about what's currently going on in Equestria, because,
she wasn't in Equestria for a long time.
Yeah, exactly. So she had no reason to, ruin lives of the main 5, 6, whatever, on the other side. And then when she got back, she shouldn't have known who Twilight Sparkle was, or that she'd have the crown.
Yeah, or that Twilight Sparkle would be right there, like, on that day. Like none of this, like, how did she know that? So just like, go over to the other portal and, like, tell her? Like, this makes no sense. There's so many just like, a billion problems just setting up this universe, which is kind of, like, just setting up the way to get Twilight through the portal already pretty much breaks the story, like, in half.
Yeah. Oh, well. Admittedly, like, Lauren Faust probably could have written this without so many plot holes, but just the whole alternate universe thing, it was gonna have some issues.
But yeah, but this is just, I'm just saying, this is, like, these are, most of these that I pointed out were problems that didn't need to exist.
Yeah.
Not like that, at least.
Yeah, they were things that didn't necessarily, like, yeah, they weren't completely necessary. Now, admittedly, some of the things would have been hard to set up the plot with, I guess, but I'm sure they could have found a better way to do it. Like, if the villain was already over here, or had spies over here, I don't know, something that they actually explained in the movie to give her reason to know what's going on in Equestria.
For the record, she was really sexy.
Sunshine Shimmer?
Yes.
Was she?
I like her.
I
don't like her, but she had a nice body, at least as a pony.
Okay, I don't even fucking remember what she looked like as a pony, because you barely saw it.
Yes, for like the 10th frame. But I saw a good picture, that's what I'm going of.
Oh,
I saw a
okay.
good fan art picture. Anyway,
Uh,
um, so yeah, that's just my just that the reason why I went on those like the point of the plot holes was just to state of why I think the movie is actually really stupid. Like I like it, but it's really fun, and for what it tries to do, it's good, but it's not like objectively, it's not good.
yeah,
As a
well,
story, as a movie, it's actually not good. Like objectively seen, it's just
well,
fun.
well, yeah, but then usually we don't look at things like objectively. Things are fun to look at because they're interesting. Because you realize, like, yeah, sometimes things I don't like are not like this. They're not necessarily good, but then not objectively, they're amazing, and I love them.
But yeah, but I'm just saying why. I mean, I say this is the other thing is the reason why it's so fun. Like, I think it's a very insider kind of movie. If you watch this as a
Yeah.
not brony, you probably would not get all that much
Oh,
out of it.
yeah, I have to agree. I mean, that's one of the things that help it being acknowledged in the knowledge that it was just a fun movie helped me right off. Because as soon as you hear that intro, like the remixed intro, if you're on a brony, you're probably not gonna like that. You're probably gonna be, if you're a parent, you're probably gonna be like, what is this? I don't like this dude.
I didn't even like it.
Oh,
It was too
it's...
dubstepy. Which
it's...
that might sound silly, but the thing is, I know so many famous like people or games and everything have been using fucking dubstep all the time, and like
Yeah,
it just becomes kind of boring.
yeah,
I don't even hate dubstep.
I do hate it. It's funny because for this, I think I liked it for this because it was so unfitting that I was like, it's so hilarious that you're just
But
trying
that's
to.
not what it's supposed to be trying to do.
I know, but for some reason I found it a lot less obnoxious than the new Mortal Kombat that's using dubstep, and every time I see that, I'm like, man. I fucking hate this. I'm literally not buying the new Mortal Kombat because it seemed though I wouldn't anyways, but
It could have been the Digimon web.
I love the Digimon. Oh my god. It was the best shit.
I think that guy with the glasses is gonna like stab you in your sleep. He fucking hated that.
Why would you hate the Digimon rap? It was the best at the time.
Yeah, I just know I didn't watch it at the time, but I just know he reviewed the Digimon movie and he was like, "What the fuck is this?"
You know, it's funny because the Digimon movie is another one of those that this is a little off track, but I'll bring it up. So that's one of those movies that could be considered objectively bad. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I personally enjoyed.
I liked the first half.
Yeah, the first, okay, I'll say that. The first half was the best by far. It had the original
second half was totally fucking random.
Yeah, I really wish
I mean, I know why. I
with
looked into like the whole thing. It's like the reason why the movie is so weird is because it's 3 movies cut together to the time of 1 movie.
Yeah. Which is really unfortunate. I really wish they hadn't done that, because I would have just loved the movie was about the original Digidestined and their whole fight with that one guy, and that was amazing, and that was pretty funny, and then they got into it with the new Digidestined on the second thing, and I was like,
Yeah, anyway.
I don't like Davis.
That was just a really short distraction, but the point, what we
yeah,
were going, what we're getting
one
at
thing
is...
I will say before we go back to that, does anyone like Davis? I don't like
I didn't
Davis.
hate him.
I'm not saying you didn't hate him, I'm saying did you like
I just
him?
like more.
Huh?
No, but I know the characters I hate more.
Well, yeah, I know. I'm just saying he's supposed to be like the main leader guy, but I didn't like Davis. I'm like that.
Let's just say, what about the other guy in like 2 seasons after that? I'm pretty sure he was
the guy
worse.
who punched. Okay, yeah.
The guy. I mean, as the fact that he punched God in the face.
Well, yeah, okay, he wasn't very good, he wasn't very smart, he wasn't the best protagonist. In all honesty, I didn't really like him.
He probably, probably the one I can think about him is that he was totally OP, which made him really funny in a way. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, going back for thing, Digimon Web. I don't know, that's what it actually made me think of. I actually instantly thought of the fucking Digimon Web when I heard that dubstep. Because it's the exact same concept where it's like, this is currently in, so let's do this. And then it's so bad it's good, but that doesn't excuse it for me. I'm never a guy who excuses so bad it's good. Like, I still would take the guy who made. I would still take Johnny Wiseau and put his face into acid, even though the movie is funny as hell. That does not excuse being idiot.
I sometimes do. It depends, like, I don't know, it depends on the thing, but in this case, I'll excuse it, but yeah, I can understand that perspective. It's one of those things that I still do find weird, and they really could have done something better than dubstep. Like, heck, if they had have just made it a normal extended intro, or an intro
They could have
specifically
used
for
the extended intros they already had.
Oh yeah, they do have an extended intro. I don't know why they didn't use it, but they didn't. Because why why use an extended intro when you can dubstep?
But yeah, okay, so other things to cover in the movie.
Well,
It was comedically really fun.
yeah, it was comedically amazing. Like, it did it really well in the way that it actually wasn't stupid. Like, it's funny, because they kind of dwelled some on Twilight's weirdness with the awkwardness with the human things, but they didn't spend, like, hours or anything, you know. I think they did that just right, where, you know...
Maybe they didn't spend hours on it in a 1 hour and like 10-minute movie.
Okay, well, yeah, but I mean, there weren't that many... Yeah, they didn't spend freaking, all their time saying...
Just randomly, I want to put in, I really liked Spike in that movie. Which actually, that probably made the movie like 40% better than it would have been. If Spike had not been in that movie, I don't know if I would actually have liked the movie, but Spike sold that movie.
Yeah, Spike actually was. He was really good in that movie.
He was pretty much the main character in its own way.
You could have written that story from Spike's perspective, yeah.
Because, I mean, like, he wasn't the main character and he didn't even have the most screen time, but he was like the carry where, like, everything kind of relied on him to hold it together, at least for the viewer, where most jokes related to Twilight kind of played off him, I believe, and just generally.
Yeah. He was that character that
he was pretty much a basis in reality.
Yeah, exactly. He was your character who wasn't like, oh my god, I don't get any of it. He's like, oh yeah, just
actually,
it's fine.
I've been totally random because I'm gonna go on a topic that only Greenby knows because that's something I talked to him about. But like what I told you, where sometimes where a void needs like if a void is completely random, the random things you can do just don't matter.
Yeah.
Like I said, you need a foil kind of, and he kind of in this sense was this foil to the void where he's the one guy who's totally fucking random and everything else is super random.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I mean by him selling the movie in that sense.
Yeah, I have to agree, and that is really nice. I'm glad that they recognize that, because in a movie that it's over the top and crazy, he's your anchor to the fact that it's still you know,
like someone has to be normal.
Yeah, someone has to be normal from what you'd expect from the universe.
Otherwise, it's just kind of just too detached from reality.
Yeah. So Spike pulled that off well. And I really liked that. I liked what they did with Rainbow Dash, as a whole. I found that I'm not sure if it was uncharacteristic, and I didn't even dislike it. I just found that whole sequence, it was funny in a good and a weird way. That whole sequence where she challenges Twilight Sparkle to a soccer match, and I'm like, that sequence was weird. It was funny, but it felt weird. I'm not.
Well, I will say that it was kind of out of character for her, but what I will say is, I expected that sequence to end worse, and it did. I was heavily surprised with the way that they made the sequence ends, which was the fact that Twilight still loses and pretty much loses really badly. But then it's just like, oh, whatever, it doesn't matter anyway. But like in a normal movie, like if they had done the whole, oh yeah, Twilight somehow just wins by determination. It's like, That's
Yeah.
not how the world works.
Exactly. That was what I was worried what was gonna happen. Maybe that's why I felt weird, but I was still happy with it. Cause yeah, I was worried that they were gonna go with the whole, you know, Twilight's so determined to get her friends together that she doesn't like it's freaking Rainbow Dash. This is
But
her
yeah, the
thing.
reason
You
why it
can't
was out
do
of
it.
character was that Rainbow should not have cared at all.
Right, exactly.
She wasn't winning. Like she might have played against the rock on the floor. She could have played against
Yeah,
Tom.
exactly. It would have been it would have been like if she challenged Twilight Sparkle to a race in Equestria. She wouldn't do that. She wouldn't put a stake on it because she knew Twilight Sparkle can't win. Well, yeah. But, you know, using just her wings. If the rules were she had to fly, Rainbow Dash wouldn't be like, hey, Twilight Sparkle, come race me. You have to fly. You know.
Yeah, and then if she did, she just wouldn't really be very impressed by it. So she just like, whatever, I expected this, but yeah. And, so that scene.
Yeah. But I like you said, they at least concluded it well. It made it didn't make perfect character sense, but it was better than, you know, she suddenly beats the athlete, which is Rainbow.
And overall, the thing was super cliche with the way that they she pulls all of them back together, but it was executed well at least.
Yeah,
I think that's another thing I would say about the movie. It's fun, it's really stupid, and it has a lot of concepts that are really cliche, but they are almost all of them are executed well, other than like toward the end where I feel like the execution of some stuff just doesn't work that well.
Yeah. I have to agree. I feel like a lot of the cliches they went with, they did really well. Like the pulling them back together. It was really cliche and obvious, but then they actually did it well. It was a neat little way of bringing everyone back together on that side.
Sorry, I know I keep breaking in, but it's just when I think you have to remember that this is gonna sound super pretentious, but I'm a writer, and I've always liked reading books, and I always like writing stuff. So the moment I think of a plot hole, it just like I have to mention it because it just eats away at my brain. So point being, another one that I just remembered. How the fuck is she gonna destroy the portal with a sledgehammer? That hammer would go through the portal and hit Peach on the other side. I was waiting for that to happen.
That's true. That's actually a fair point, because it would make sense if it weren't currently when the portal is open, but unless she had some dynamite that was going to destroy that whole statue, that doesn't make sense.
Because I mean, she would hit the thing, the portal, and the hammer would just fade through the portal because there's never been like the crown went through the portal, so it's not like objects can't go through it.
Right, exactly. So yeah, she would either that hammer would just go through the portal, or heck, she'd try to swing it, and she'd just like sling herself through the portal, which would have been hilarious.
Yeah, so that's just another one of those plot holes where I'm like, that is so silly.
That was pretty simple. Would have been great if that was how the movie ended. She just swings herself through the portal and Celestia's on the other side. She's like, oh, hi, I'm gonna rape you now.
But I really wanted her to hit the portal and like hit Piggy from another side. Just like right in the face, like boom, headshot. I don't know why, but that's just Pinkie Pie had that coming.
I guess. Like Pinkie Pie in that movie was, sometimes she was kind of obnoxious, so I liked some of the other parts with her. It was a combination of both. She was funny that she's funny like a decent bit of the time, but there was those times in the movie where she was the over obnoxious Pinkie Pie, where she was just too hyper to the point where it's like.
I liked the fact that I liked how they handled the whole admitting to it thing. Which some people might not like that. And the funny thing is, like I said, I'm the writer who normally follows like coherent storylines. Normally there should be a thing that would piss me off, but because of how stupid the movie already is, I like the fact that they just didn't give it like any attention. They're like, I'm from Equestria, a universe with ponies, and then the Pinkie Pie is like, she is, and then everyone's like, okay. And then like no minute wasted on it, not like 10 minutes of like, you gotta prove us this.
Yeah. I did like that too. Cause at first I was like, there's no way this is gonna work out, and it actually did. Which was one of those things that I was like, yeah, I'm fine with that, cause it is a lot better than wasting 20 minutes of time.
Like if it had been a like serious movie, wasting 20 minutes was needed, but because of how the movie
Yeah.
was not serious anyway.
Though this is one of those things that wouldn't work in a serious movie. In the heck, in a serious movie, which that would have been one of the issues if this had been a serious movie, because wasting 20 minutes on it would have been necessary, but at the same time it would have been annoying, and it wouldn't have been suspenseful at all, because we would have known she's really from where she says she's from, and anyone watching would know that, but the characters wouldn't know that, so you'd sit through watching a whole conflict that is useless, because you already know the end,
The
and you
outcome.
already... Yeah, you already know the outcome.
It's why that guy with glasses hates that one very often used plot point of like the liar revealed plot point where the main character lies about something and then it's revealed that he lies about it later in the movie and then he like gets banished but then he comes back. And like that guy with glasses always rambles about how he hates that. But like I'm just saying that in it could like if it had been a serious movie, even if it had hurt the movie, you would have had to expand on this because you can't just be like Pinkie Pie magic.
Right,
But
agreed.
because of how stupid the movie was, it just like whatever that works.
Because they were trying to be silly. It was fine. And I did like that.
Also, Twilight was goddamn sexy in that movie when she was a pony.
Yeah, in fact, I don't know why. I think it was the thing we were mentioning with that before. Not the sexiness, though. Yes, all the ponies when they were in the pony world were incredibly sexy.
Like I'm sorry about that one moment where she looks into the mirror and like sees her pony version. I'm like, I would hate that.
Oh, Sapare.
It's just we had seen only humans for like half an hour, and then like she shows up for like half a minute. And I'm like, God, I wish this movie wasn't ponies.
Yeah, I kind of know that feel. I would have liked them to be ponies more, but that kind of reminds me of two things I want to mention. Which I'm not sure which I'll bring up first. So I guess I'll bring up the more silly one, and then I'll bring up the more serious one. So the more silly one, which is one of the things I loved, was when she goes into Luna's office, and Luna handles it like a fucking, like old detective, like, I don't even know how to describe it, but she has like the blinds nearly closed, and... Huh?
The noir or whatever.
Yeah, noir. She goes on noir style on Twilight, and I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah, I barely actually remember that. Like, you gotta give me a bit more credit and give me the fact that I haven't seen this in like 2 months now or whatever.
Yeah. That is a fair point. I'm seeing it super late, so I just saw it today, and Sapare hasn't seen it in 2 months. So yeah, anyone watching this don't think like, oh, Sapare's super forgetful. He hasn't had a chance to see it in 2 months.
Yeah, and I like the movie. It's a fun movie, but at the same time, it's the only minor things are gonna stick around in my mind. It's not. I don't know. It's like it's not super memorable in the long term, I believe.
Yeah, I understand.
It's a fun romp, but that's what it is.
It's a fun movie, but I understand what you're saying. It's not that movie that changed your life, or.
In all honesty, I mean, it might be really unfair to compare this. I mean, it is unfair to compare this because these guys had a harder time than other guys, but SpongeBob was a better movie, just saying. There might be, at one point that might be random, but in another way, they have both kind of did the same thing, where both of them are like, let's just throw any sense of reason out of the window and make it as silly as possible. And I mean, I just one did it well, I liked it a lot, but SpongeBob still did it better, that movie.
Yeah, which was surprising.
Because that one was also more memorable at the same time. I still remember scenes from it.
I don't remember it that well, but for one, I haven't seen
David
it since I was
Hasselhoff.
a kid, and yeah. And also, yes, I do remember David Hasselhoff. He was the best. David Hasselhoff!
I didn't even know who the fuck he was at that point. Even now I barely know who the fuck he is, but it's just random. Like, that's what I mean, that movie this is kind of what this movie actually does, it just randomly makes up stuff at the spot.
Yeah. Well, admittedly, part of the reason, they did it better, and it is a little unfair to compare, but it's still an interesting comparison. But SpongeBob, the series, was kind of built off of, randomness. So
being really silly.
Yeah, being really silly, so they did have the opportunity to get away with it.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, it was unfair just because SpongeBob, like, these guys literally, they got shot in the foot, like, 2 times. And then they got given the pistol and decided to make a movie out of that. guys probably did not get shot in the foot before having to make a movie.
Yeah. I doubt Hasbro said, or whoever was their producer said, damn it, we want a movie where they go to high school, because kids like high school. And,
yeah, actually,
and they're like, what?
Did they get told that humans got to show up in that SpongeBob movie? Probably not.
No,
but I mean, they actually worked it in really well.
Yeah, I really doubt they ever said, you know, I doubt the guys who gave the money ever said we need David Hasselhoff, because that'll be amazing. I'm pretty sure the people made it who were making stuff, and they were doing stupid stuff, and they were like, hey guys who give us money, you know what we really need? We really need David Hasselhoff. Trust us, we get that, this movie will sell. And the guys will make money, we're like, oh, okay. And it's sold.
I know it's the wrong movie, but I'm just saying, I really like that movie.
Yeah.
Probably one of the best movies I've ever seen. Just for the simple joy of it.
Yeah. When SpongeBob's good, SpongeBob's really good for the joy of it.
Yeah. I mean, these days I've never watched a series in like years, and the last times I watched it, it wasn't actually very interesting, but like that movie was still that movie's never gonna go bad.
Yeah, that movie is still good. The old SpongeBob when it was good is still good, but yeah, SpongeBob's one of those series that's grown a little stale and gotten to that point where it's more stupid than charm.
Yeah, so, but let's see. Other stuff on
okay, so what? Oh, okay. You wanted another.
I just want to mention not on SpongeBob. No, back to Equestria Girls.
Yeah.
This song's disappointed me.
Yeah, I will give you that. I liked one or two. I liked the one where they were doing the spirit thing.
Yes, that's the one that everyone likes.
That's the one that everyone likes. I forget what the other
really
one is.
Random, but I guess most of you not gonna care, but if anyone watches far, maybe they actually will. The story that I'm currently writing, that first chapter I wrote, which includes a pony dying, I would add by listening to that song on repeat.
Nice.
That song was my inspiration for Celestia kicking Luna's ass.
That's pretty legit.
I have weird inspirations.
You do. I could have sworn, and I could be wrong. Oh! I think I actually liked the song. It's not as memorable, it's not as good, but I liked the song when they were fixing up the gym.
I remember that it exists, but I've not heard it since then, and I don't remember it. Like the other one, the only one I actually listened to again was the second one.
Yeah. Well,
I think my main problem with the songs were lyric-wise, they were really lazy.
Yeah. Well, that's why I like the one in the gym, because actually that one was the song that it had to be for but it was still good. But the lyric-wise, I will agree, and that's why the songs are overall not the best. Like, there was actually a song I disliked. I didn't even like it, but it was just okay. Like, I straight up disliked the one song that they sung while they were getting, like, dressed for the thing. I was like, this is so obnoxious. It's just them repeating the same line, which is basically like, oh, we're so hyped, you're getting dressed for the thing, and I'm like, no! I know you're getting ready for the thing. You can put on a better montage song. Put of Eye of the Tiger. That would be perfect.
Oh God, yeah. But just that is a thing that I cannot really excuse. I'm not like, oh, I'm gonna like murder the guy who made the music, or I'm not like I'm done with Pony because of this. But if the movie has a real flaw, it's the fact that the music, it's okay, but it's I would say below subpar to the actually show standards.
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense, because the movie can be silly and the movie can be stupid and whatnot, but unless they got exactly told what the songs were supposed to be written about, like if they like Hasbro went down there and was like, this song has to be about them, but the thing is, even if Hasbro was like, this song has to be about them getting dressed, Out of the Dress still was a good fucking song, so I have no idea what happened there.
I don't know what happened there either. Like, maybe Hasbro was like, we need Daniel Ingram elsewhere. We need him to save the world with his music. but, you know.
Yeah, it's almost like he didn't write these songs.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. Cause yeah. I don't know if he did, but
These were like, it's not even because I think the other problem was that I know I keep breaking in, but that's kind of what I do. But I think all of them were kind of the same thing. All of them were pop music, which if you look back at My Little Pony, like the show, like every song is a different genre of music, pretty much. They never do the same one twice.
Yeah, that is true. They do dabble a lot. They've even dabbled little engineer genres like rock and stuff.
Yeah, they've like normally if you look through like I would say they never really repeat the genres unless like maybe like in 3 seasons like they probably at some point start repeating some genres, but normally they always do they always sound different, but all of these you could kind of just mix together and they become a mush of not as bad as Just the People, but just kind of like every other famous song ever.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. It would become really popish, and yeah, unfortunately, even if these were all good pop songs, that's a fair point. They're all pop songs, and at some point they're going to start grating on the nerves, because that's just really same-ish compared to, like, say, if they had to put in a pop song and a rock song and maybe, I don't know, maybe a slow song when she dances with, Flash Bang Dick something.
Flash sent me. I think how I still remember the name. I guess probably because I looked up more art of him.
Probably so. I can't fucking remember his name. He was...
What did there was a fan base name for him.
Yeah, which is kind of weird. But anyways, so that was actually something I was gonna mention that you mentioned to me earlier. You didn't exactly mention it to me, but I know why they don't have, freaking, now I can't remember his name either. I don't know why, because he's
Shining Armor?
Shining Armor. And why they don't have Shining Armor in this movie, because they don't want to bring to light the fact that Fleshlight, whatever his name is.
Fleshlight. I know no one is probably gonna be watching up to this point, but if you do, you just saw the best name version of him ever.
Indeed. So,
Fleshlight
thank you. Fleshlight Century, it's the best. But yeah, so, he looks just so much like, Shining Armor. They actually made a comic about it, which you've probably seen.
I guess that's why Twilight is into him.
Yeah, exactly, which was exactly what the comic was about. It was joking at, she brings him home, and Cadence is like, this isn't creepy, and he's talking to, like, Shining Armor, and they're pretty much the same person. It was like, man, do you like corn dogs? I was like, no, I love them.
I have to look at that something.
Yeah, and it's just, it's amazing, it's stupid, but yeah, so it banks on that joke, and look, that is like, yeah, they're not so similar that I'd actually, be against the creators, but they do have that feel of similarity, where, yeah, I see that they didn't want, they either didn't want to imply that the characters looked really similar, or they didn't want to imply that Twilight might be interested in a character that looked like her brother. I'm not sure which, but either way, there was something they didn't want to imply.
But you can't just wait for Shining Armor does just not exist because you didn't put him in the movie. He just never existed. It makes no sense that he never shows up in his own empire.
Yeah.
It's like going to fucking Gondor and like Aragorn never showing up.
Yeah, I have to agree. It is kind of ridiculous. I'm just saying that's the main. I personally, that's my thought on why they didn't put him in the movie, because there were some implications they didn't want to be had.
But
so
now I'm just gonna say that my Twilight Shining Armor incest headcanon is now even better supported.
It pretty much is. They're like, hey, since Shining Armor got taken away, here she's just gonna
Take the
date
closest thing.
Fleshlight Shimmer.
And then gonna paint him.
Yeah, she's just gonna paint him white and be like, you're my shining fleshlight now.
That is gonna be one kinky story when someone wants it.
Someone better write that if they haven't already. That's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, also the fact that both of them are guards, like royal guards.
yeah, exactly.
It
That was
just
yeah.
I'm now implying princesses only allowed to marry royal guards.
Uh, I'm not
Keep it in the royalty.
like
Like Twilight, like if Twilight to marry like a Big
I
Mac like Celestia would like come down and like
yeah. Well, I know. Like I'm pretty sure they don't, though I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's just keeping in that fantasy setting. But it is one of those things that's kind of silly. I'm hoping at some point, if they ever have more princesses, or if they ever have a love interest for the other princess, or hopefully this isn't canon, and if they have a love interest for Twilight, it's someone who isn't a guard. But I get why they do it, because it's kind of that standard fantasy setting of, you know, the princess and her knight and...
yeah,
well,
I get why they do it, but like you mentioned, it's super weird because they already filled that role with shining armor. Like he literally fills exactly that role.
Yeah, he's literally, his name is literally the trope.
Shining armor.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, he's... So now though...
Which I always...
Huh?
I know that just in my messed up mind, but I always think of that as a French word for love, and not as a armor, like amour or whatever.
Yeah. I can understand.
Because it makes sense too, shining love, because he's in love the first time you see him.
Right.
I don't know. That's probably not a big purpose for it. That's just my fucked up mind, but yeah.
Yeah, well, armor, the word is spelled differently, so they didn't do that.
I know,
but
right,
I see what you're saying.
obviously
It actually would work if they had, if he was that, because that's actually true. In fact, that's though his shining armor, his name, and his cutie mark makes sense, that almost makes more sense, because that's actually what he does, like, as far as story-wise goes, because the fact that he's shining armor, the fact that he has this magical stuff, almost just never really comes into play in the story, because they have things that can go around it, because otherwise it'd be super boring.
Because he's like the worst pony ever.
Well, yeah, I feel bad for ponies like him who are strictly defense, because his powers are amazing, but the story would be so boring if if the story just ended at shining armor puts up a barrier.
Yeah, it's kind of, I know this is totally far-fetched, but it's kind of like Admiral Akbar was actually anywhere as good as he was supposed to be. But instead of just yelling into 12, he's like a genius, but then it's like, well, now he don't have a movie, he just defeats the Empire, game over.
Yeah, that is kind of far-fetched, but that might have been the case. They might have had Akbar in the script, like, you know, been like, you know, he might have gone up to the general, and they had this whole discussion as a trap, and then they, like, wait. But now we have this guy who knows it's a trap. Well, then that's not gonna work.
It's like, I mean, it's just, if I think from the extended universe, I don't actually know that much extended universe, but normally he's supposed to be, like, a really good general. He's not supposed to be like a fucking retard.
Yeah, but in the
so
movie,
it's just they had to make him an idiot because that's the only way it works.
Yeah. So that is unfortunately a thing that happens commonly. Is that especially with characters that are really smart or really defensive, they have to power down because otherwise, where's your story if this character can just always be spot on? You know.
Yeah, at least in the thing that he does. Like, other people are spot on in exactly what they do, but because of what they are good at is kind of what breaks a story in a way.
Oh, yeah, exactly. If you're good at something that would otherwise make
so if you're good at writing, you kind of write them away, rather than making them just bad. You write the good reasons for why they are not.
Yeah,
that
is true.
And really, I just admit that, I mean, I like some series, and I think it's good, but they are not the best story writers.
Yeah, they're unfortunately not. Lauren Faust was by far the best, and unfortunately, it seems like they didn't really continually go with her being the head of the story arcs. Which I think if she had been excuse me, they probably all would have been a lot better, or at least more coherent. I could be wrong. I think they probably would have been better.
That would have
I
made more
think
sense, yeah. Because the funny thing is, actually, now that I mentioned it, that actually, we said that the Luna one was the only one without a major plot hole, but actually, the Discord one does not directly have major plot hole. It has cases of stupidity for the story's sake stupidity, but it isn't quite as broken as the fucking Cadence one.
Chrysalis, yeah.
Yeah.
Where Chrysalis does so many inconsistent things, and so many inconsistent things that happen. In fact, inconsistency, which I kind of brought up with that shining armor thing, because I saw it in a comic. I didn't even think about that. Is with this barrier up, and I guess the idea would have been she was in ahead of time. But with this barrier up, how did Chrysalis get it in the first place to replace Cadence?
But I assume that she replaced her like months ago.
Well,
like, the thing is, the show never makes it clear.
Yeah, exactly. The show never makes it clear. So if she replaced her months ago, then that makes sense, I guess.
Because that's why I assume I'm assuming that's why he never informed Twilight about the marriage thing, because she was like getting brainwashed. So he was like, "No, that sound is normal." Like I assume the story was supposed to imply that if he actually was in normal condition, he would have informed her about the marriage, and I'd be like, "Fuck that bitch."
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Though.
But then the question is, why did she keep Cadence fed for like months in like his cave?
yeah, that's true. Because if Cadence had only been down there a few days, well, that would make sense. Food and water. She didn't starve or die yet. But if she'd been down there for months, then yeah. How did
that's why I said it pisses me off that they made Chrysalis so stupid, because she literally undermined like the whole empire. Like, she didn't do this like 1 or 2 days. She did this for like a long time, where she's like pretty much. She's like fucking like a super spy.
Yeah, exactly. She's supposed to be a super spy, but then she's such a dumbass when she does anything in the story. When you see her doing things, yeah.
Everything she does is retarded, pretty much.
Yeah. She's like, "Oh, I'm gonna reveal my plan to Twilight Sparkle because I want to brag," or I'm going to let Twilight Sparkle do things because I don't think she can do anything, and I'm just gonna keep being the most overconfident.
Yeah, she just what the hell?
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't at all fit to her character. Even as a queen, it doesn't fit to her character, because she assumed that she's way more mature in that way, because she leads the whole nation, so she'd be mature. Like, she doesn't need to brag to a lowly pony. She literally runs the nation of thousands of changelings.
I think so, but I don't know. Those changelings, they're pretty stupid with their changing powers.
Yeah, but back to the movie. Music mediocre, which I found a major disappointment. That's like, if I have a major flaw with the movie besides the fact that it's stupid, it's just that the music was what the hell.
Music was indeed, it wasn't.
I mean, we can seriously have more time and more money to stick into the music, and yet some of it ended up worse.
Yeah. It unfortunately did, cause, yeah, like I said, there's the one song that's for sure memorable, and there's one song that's considerably good, and then there's one terrible song.
And it just, I guess the reason why it pisses me off is because this is gonna be the thing with a lot of permanency, and at least they could have sold the good music on, like, to the parents.
Yeah, that's a fair point. They could have been like, "Hey, parents, if cause the parents, I think anyone would have gotten annoyed with that one dressing up song. That was that is one of those songs that I officially, like, I hate that with kids shows in any show. It's so overly repetitive. It's funny because I'm always fine with that. Like, Winter Wrap Up is a
but Winter Wrap Up is not repetitive. Winter Wrap Up's has more other lyrics in the verse.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just the most memorable part.
Exactly. But I've heard, and I don't know why, I've heard that's repetitive. I'm like, no. But, it has a repetition of a verse, but there's a lot more to the song than Winter Wrap Up. It's just, Winter Wrap Up is so fucking catchy.
Yeah, it's super catchy, but it has about the same length of a verse, No, actually, wait, we're doing this one. It's a show that gets repeated. So the length of a show gets like there's a verse in between each that is about as long as the winter wrap-up part itself.
Right, right. So yeah, so there's a lot more to the song, which the other song, the thing is that,
It doesn't. It's like two lines
yeah.
that get repeated over and over and over.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, even the really good, the best one, the one in the canteen thingy where she like this team split thing, even that one does it a bit, but it still breaks it up a bit with like the other. With Pinkie Pie pretty much breaks it up in like the middle of it, and then Twilight breaks it up a bit. So like it does just enough to break it up.
Yeah, yeah, that it works.
It's still not winter wrap up, but it's at least decent.
Yeah. It's good enough to be. It's good enough to be an okay song in the show. Which all the others don't like. If
but
they were in the
nothing
show,
which was on the level of smile.
Yeah. They didn't have a smile. They didn't have a winter wrap up. They
didn't even have a Google of the Ghosties, which in a way was brilliant too.
Yeah, it was brilliant, and they didn't
and
have
none
any
of the
Cutie
songs
Mark
fit
Crusaders.
as
Yeah, that's true.
That's the other thing. Sorry, but like, I mean, with a wrap up, you could be. It's kind of forced, but at the same time, it's like, even when it's forced, it always feels very fluent into the way that the universe works.
Yeah.
But here's the song just there. Like, I think my main problem with it is, other than the canteen one, none of the songs are actually ever really like. The songs don't exist outside of being out of themselves. Like the song, there's a song, and then the story just continues.
Yeah, I see what you're saying,
like with Winter Wrap Up, it literally like it's obvious that the Winter Wrap Up kind of like obviously doesn't happen, but the story still continues from the Winter Wrap Up ending.
Right. I see what you're saying. The songs are an actual thing, and it's always nice when they're an actual thing. Like, maybe even if assuming that everyone doesn't constantly do the singing, what they're actually doing in the song actually happens. They're actually actively sitting down, and they wouldn't act like the song didn't happen. They're, in fact, to look at the Ghosties is a great, showing of, oh yeah, these songs actually happen, because, they're like, oh, she's not...
Smile, directly leads into the next thing, so obviously these things still happen. It's not like that they are in their own contained universe, and I think the problem is, when it implies that it's in their own contained universe, then at least for someone like me, it's like, I just wasted, like I said, like a minute of my life, because this didn't really happen. It's like, if she, like, woke up and it's like, oh, that was a dream.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, it'd be like if she woke up and there were like 2 minutes where she was back as a pony, and it would be like, that's a nice fan service there, but it doesn't matter. There's literally no point to it.
Yeah, and that's why that's probably actually why, like, obviously that one was also catchy and just generally better written, but still, in my opinion, okay-ish level, but that's why the canteen one was probably the best one, just also in the movie kind of concept, because that one, like, it actually walks into the void. Like, that one actually happens. Like, it happens in the void, but the other one just kind of don't. The other one just kind of saying that, saying.
Yeah, like, that one that I hate is a great example of that. That one that I kind of like, I can't remember if it's a good example of it. I just know that it's one of those songs that worked fine.
Pretty much the one that you kind of like, I assume, is pretty much Raise the Barn, which I guess it works. It's the same concept as Raise the Barn, whatever.
Yeah.
In the Applejack episode.
Yeah, pretty much is exactly that. They just sing a song, about the whole fact, they're singing the song about clean up and get everything ready. Oh, that reminds me of another thing that I liked, which was super funny. It was a small thing though, which was like, they kept all of the ponies' attributes, like Rainbow Dash, super athletic and stuff, which obviously I already know, but, so there are 2 guys who are carrying a table, and they're, working together to carry the table out, and then Applejack just, like, picks up a table with one arm, and walks out with it. I'm like, Applejack's OP.
I love that background pony as much as I hate him.
Yeah.
See, and now I'm gonna admit it to, like, the 0 people that watch this for. I love Applejack.
Sounds legit. Sapare loves
No,
this.
in every other video I can be like, she's a stupid earth pony bitch, but
Yeah, but
this
here,
one video I'm
this one
admitting
you're
it.
gonna be,
But
such
yeah,
a...
other thing to mention, which another like I'm obviously the cynical one here, and Green is the more optimistic one. But a thing I did not like that much, another thing that I didn't like that much, which I guess like we kind of talked about this, but so I'm just gonna do this very quickly. But as I said, I did not like the conclusion very much. Two part, like it felt like a SpongeBob thing, but not as good. But if you don't, even if you just want to take it on its own, like without the SpongeBob thing, and just take it in the My Little Pony universe,
Mhm.
it pretty much is the Luna thing again. It's a Luna it's a way that the Nightmare Moon conclusion worked, like in episode 2,
Yeah.
and
Oh
it
yeah,
was done better in that one.
yeah,
Again,
you are completely right there. Cause, oh my fucking god, what does my computer want? Keep the color scheme, don't fucking show me this shit, asshole.
I don't even see it, but okay.
Oh, okay, anyways, yeah, so,
Yes.
sorry. So, anyways, you are completely right, though. Yeah, they did do it with the Luna thing, and I would say, like, this one had more spectacle, but they still definitely did the other one better. And the conclusion was better, the whole of everything was better. With the way, like, if story-wise, it just made more sense.
It made
In
more
this
sense.
one,
It character-wise even made more sense.
yeah, that's
Because
what I was gonna say,
the
because in
elements
this one,
don't really
there's
come through
no...
much in this.
Yeah, they don't make much sense here, and, like, the fact that Sunset bitch-ass fucking, became a good guy didn't, like, it didn't make as much sense as it did with Luna, because Luna was already a good guy. She just, you know, she got turned into the Nightmare Moon. Sunset bitch-ass, fucking, I don't know if she was ever a good guy, but, you know, I guess she might have been, but it doesn't seem like she was, and she's just like, oh, use the element of harmony on me, I'm a good guy now.
Which I guess, and it's kind of like Cadence can force people to love each other, and she can force people to be good. Like, this is becoming kind of evil, actually.
This does sound evil, and it's funny because they
They also never use it on the Sips and Snares, which so I guess those two are probably like gonna go on raping everyone now because they got nothing left to do.
Well, I assume that if they try, like, Applejack is just gonna, like, fucking bring back, and they'll go, like old school beat 'em up.
I like Big Mac's appearance.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good. Speaking
Even
of
art design
appearance.
wise, he was actually I don't remember it because it's been so long, but I think art design wise he was drawn well, which
Oh yeah,
compared to
he
most
was.
other characters.
Yeah, which actually reminds me of another cameo appearance real quick that I liked was, when Rainbow Dash had her wings, which was still super disappointing, they took them away, you know, there were the Cutie Mark Crusaders just, like, dancing about, and she, you know, like, grabs Scootaloo, she flies over and grabs
that
Scootaloo.
was nice.
Yeah, it was.
It was very heartwarming, even though it's, I mean, I guess because I mean, it worked. He could be like, why this is never implied in the movie at itself, but it doesn't matter because we know so little about these characters.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is probably
and
why I say it doesn't work like one of the many things why it didn't work so well as the Luna thing is that other than the fact that they're supposed to be like mirror images of the main 6 counterparts, we barely know these characters.
Yeah, that is a fair point. Like, obviously some of the stuff is still there, like they were friends and all that. But there's some obvious changes to that formula that aren't there in the other worlds that's...
Like, when is Rainbow Dash ever showing loyalty? When is the Applejack really ever showing honesty? Like, in this movie, like, it's never really... It's not like in the Luna thing where it literally tells you when this was implied.
Yeah. They never show it for sure. They tell you that they're all the elements, but you never see them specifically act out the element.
Yeah, I mean, the closest thing is Pinkie Pie with the party stuff, but it's not the same thing as actually with the Luna episode where, like, it's not about the party thing, it's about actually really sticking to the good when things are really bad. But
Yeah, exactly. To cheer up yourself and to cheer up your friends when things are bad, which, is what
yeah,
the element of laughter is for. It's not for being like, we're going to laugh because we really want to have a good time right now, which Pinkie Pie does a ton, but that's not what her element is about. Her element is about being the bard of the party. Her element is about when everyone's down, you gotta sing.
yeah. See, and that's the funny thing is, I'm assuming that at least some people who probably didn't quite get that with Winky Pie's character. Maybe
Yeah.
probably none of them watched this, but now they could have been enlightened.
Yeah. Oh my god! I didn't set myself to do not disturb. People don't harass me. Dude,
Oh my god, that was me.
Don't, huh?
I
Yeah,
was there as if.
Yeah, that was you. And then there was another dude who's on screen for a second, but oh well.
You could have paused that and like read it.
I know. It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like half the conversation is links to pictures that he's like, you should look at this, or you should. Oh
See,
yeah,
now someone can write down the link.
Oh yeah, they could. Well, it's not
then...
like. Well, fine. If they want to do it, go for it, fuckers. I don't care.
No one watches for anyway.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
But this is a long ass movie.
It's just us rambling, really.
A long ass ramble. Yeah.
I enjoy it, but there was another thing I wanted to mention, which. What was that? I don't remember.
Let's see.
We kind of covered the main things of the movie, I believe. Like, the main problems I had and the main things I liked.
Yeah,
I still say... I'm sorry, but... For those who don't like it, like, if this was not clear, I think that if you're a pony, you should still watch it. I'm just saying, it's a stupid movie.
Yeah, it's a fun movie, though.
It's a fun movie, but it's like it's fun, but it's stupid. Like the reason why I'm trying to make that so clear is not because I want to be a douchebag, but because so many people seem to kind of ignore that.
Yeah.
But I think it's not fair. It's not fair to give credit to things like the movie deserves its credit, but not for the things it didn't actually do. Like no one should be like, oh, this was like a brilliant way to execute it. Like no.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. People should give credit, but it'd be like if they said that, Avatar. It would be like if someone said Avatar is the most brilliantly written thing ever that's so revolutionary. It's like, no, it's stupid fun, but it's not revolutionary in any way.
Yeah, that's really kind of
hell, they They took ideas from many things, and hell, they kind of took ideas from history. I've heard several jokes besides them being Smurfs that, they're basically like blue niggers. Yeah.
Niggas. There's blue niggas. There's a blue of niggas.
Yeah, I'm being purposely stupid racist there, but yeah, they're pretty much like the African Americans, like before America was all settled and all that, and that idea, and I'm like, yeah, that's a reasonable argument. If you want to go there, whatever.
Yeah, really, it's probably not nearly as one-sided, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, it isn't.
I mean, I don't hate you First Nation people, but any war is never one-sided as it is in the movies.
Oh yeah, that's by far true. That happens so often. But then again, that happens in games too. In fact, in games, it's more funny in the ridiculousness in which games usually war always comes down to specific battles, and it kind of can in real life, but not to the extent like in real life. You don't fight all the way to some dude's palace and have him have like 5 dudes left, but if you lose like with a few dudes, oh, you're fucked. Everyone's dead.
What? Are you trying to imply that's not how the Spanish took over the capital city of the Aztec?
I am trying to imply that, yes.
We did not go in there with 6 people, and then when you lose with 6 people, the whole empire falls apart? What are you? I like how no one actually knows what game we are referencing.
Yeah, I know, they don't.
This game is super obscure.
It is. But even besides that, I hadn't thought about it so much. And then recently I was thinking about that, and there's multiple games I play like that. Like Fire Emblem kind of bases itself on a war idea. It's funny because you're usually dealing with small groups rather than a full group of war, like, but even then, you always have backup people and stuff. But you can never lose a fight. Like, if you lose a fight, there's the game over.
You lose, yeah.
You lose.
And I mean, that's honestly, like you said, this is not how war actually goes.
Yeah.
Sparing one guy, which really, I don't know, I like bringing this guy up, but Napoleon kind of had that the whole time going through. Where he literally had to win every fight, but yeah, that's like a super specific case where literally, I mean, you might as well call that whole thing Napoleon versus the Void.
Yeah, exactly. It basically was, and there's the occasional time like that. There's some decisive battles in war, but there's never quite that decisive battle, especially that far into war. If you're just kicking someone's ass and they randomly win a battle, it's not the end of the war.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I could mention something I could remember on, but I don't even remember how that relates to the movie because I don't believe there were any wars in that movie. But yeah.
No, I don't know. We get super off.
But we can wrap up the movie because I think we are done with the movie. But let's see, was there anything we missed that we wanted to bring up?
One of the best songs in the movie that was actually a song in the movie that I wanted to bring up was when the Cutie Mark Crusaders win the library.
And watch their own video.
And watch their own video. I don't know how I felt about it, but I laughed anyways.
I thought it was very referential to us. Like, not obviously referencing us, but you know us.
Yeah, I
Because
know
of
what
what
you mean.
we do.
It's very, like, you have to be a fan of the show. You have to, you know, and it is more the kind of thing that bronies would find relevant, because they're more likely to go online on YouTube and make videos and watch videos and all that, so, yeah.
Yeah, I mean also us personally, because we make videos.
yeah, that's true, we do make videos.
So every gaming doesn't watch his own videos.
Not always. The other day I was watching our video of Luna Wander with my little brother, and I remembered how we said Celeste's ass was a TARDIS, and that was by far my favorite part of the video.
How old is your little brother?
He is, I don't know, 12?
And you show him such, vulgar videos?
Well, I mean, his dad, who isn't my dad, it's complicated. Anyways, his dad shows him, like all kinds of stuff. He's not very censored at his age. So,
okay.
I'm just like, well, if his dad's not gonna censor him, I'm not gonna be like, no, you can't watch my stuff, you know? I'm like, sure, yeah, I don't mind.
Makes sense. I'm not gonna complain, and I'm pretty sure. And there's one person who watches this for whatever reason ends up being like the state policeman. I think you're okay.
Well, even then, I don't think it's a huge issue. It's not like we've said anything
it's not like
bad.
It's
not like it's porn. It's just vulgar.
It's just been saying that Luna's ass is a TARDIS.
No, it was Celestia's ass, actually. Luna's ass, it's funny, because we were saying stuff about shoving stuff up Luna's butt, and then we were talking about Molestia, and we were like, yeah, I was like, it's just like Molestia, like Molestia couldn't handle all of this, and I was like, yeah, well, and then I kept making excuses, like she has ass jitsu and shit, and I was like, and then I thought, I'm like, her ass is a TARDIS.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I thought Luna because the game was about Luna, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
anyways,
So wrapping the movie up. Final opinions on the movie?
If you go into it thinking it's fun, you're going to love it. If you're going in thinking it's going to be a piece of literature, you're going to hate it. And if you go in being Sapare, then you're going to be a pair.
I think I can actually pretty much fully agree with that statement.
Yes.
I mean, that's kind of my point of view. Don't go into it with the sense of trying to figure out the storyline.
Right.
Not because the storyline is confusing, but because the storyline would not make any sense 2 minutes in.
Indeed. Oh, and Twilight and Fleshlight Shimmer are best pairing.
I guess now I know why she has the hots for him, rather than the fact that he's shining armor.
Yeah.
He's the shining armor combined with a flashlight.
Yep.
You're not sure what Twilight would do with a flashlight.
I don't know. She has magic. I'm sure she could figure something out. She's a freaking princess, after all, by now.
She's a princess after all. But, is there anything else we want to talk about? Why we are rambling infinitely long
hey
anyway.
people, want to look at my art? Fucking look at it. Shit, it's art. Rainbow Dash.
I don't know why it's like people when there's probably like one person at most watch this one.
I don't know, because I'm being hopeful.
Did you know that this video was longer than the movie?
This video is literally longer than the movie, and I don't think we're gonna cut it, because at that point there's no point. Like, if people want to watch to this point, they'll watch it.
Yeah, just make it one thing.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm being hopeful. So, assuming there's people watching this, look at me, I'm gonna be raped by Rainbow Dash and maybe the Indigo Rave.
Yes. I'm not gonna say what I was going to say.
Okay, apparently Sapare is withholding his opinion now. But look at me. Look at my green bean. I'm actually, you can probably all tell what the picture is actually about. But I like my headcanon for it. And look at Rainbow Dash's face. You know she wants my sweet green ass. Oh yeah. Okay. And Indigo looks so mischievous. It's the best shit. Okay. So.
He's just trying to make me jealous.
No, see, there's Dreamfeather.
Yeah, that's not quite as interesting. That picture is really old, by the way.
That picture is pretty old.
Since then, if I ever want to show someone Dreamfeather, I just show them our background.
Yeah, which by the way is here. And anyone who wants to bother Sapare, just do this. Everyone who's watching the video should do this. Just gently pet his ear.
You could stop. Don't need to support my ear fetish.
I think I do though. Or if you're like me, you'll gently pet my halberd.
It's quite a thing when you have a fetish for like petting joblings.
Yeah, I know. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the vampires I could slay with this.
Do you get off to slaying vampires?
Maybe.
I did not know you had it. Wait, what was that? Hemo. Oh wait, now I'm saying what hemoglobin, but hemoglobin.
He-Man?
But no, I'm saying what the blood thing. There's like a phobia of blood, and then there's a love for blood.
Oh yeah.
I think it's in your game, that board game thingy, the tabletop game.
Yeah, the Dungeons and Dragons. Oh wait, no, the Call of Cthulhu.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Unfortunately, I can't think of the name for like liking blood. But yeah. So then, I'm going to show off my sweet ass. Well, green bean sweet ass. Look at that. Look at that.
But you don't even like the artist anymore.
No, you're thinking of a different artist. I like this artist.
This was not drawn by your sister?
No. Nothing was drawn by my sister. My sister sucks. She's not cool enough to draw stuff.
I don't know why I always thought this was drawn by your sister.
Oh, no, I'm using it as my profile picture right now. Of course I still love it. And this here, I would do
so wait,
this.
who does this then?
It was, I don't remember her name exactly.
Why did
it
I
was
start
that girl like 9-8 something on fucking DeviantArt. She's amazing. I'll probably link up the artist to give them credit, but yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I thought this was drawn by your sister for like the last 5 months.
I'm sorry too. I didn't know you thought that. So anyways, Green Bean has sexy ass. I'll move on before it gets awkward.
I think it has gone long far beyond awkward.
Yeah.
Stop petting my ear.
Would you rather I go lower?
It might actually trigger this.
Like just maybe so. I pet your wing. Will that trigger anything?
Probably. I don't know why I'm feeling a wing on my back when I don't actually have wings. I think I've become too ponified.
I don't know. you baby, but it's fine.
We have to find a topic that does not include molesting anyone.
Okay, more
unless
of me.
we want to end this.
Yeah, we will. Just look at my thing that Cloud Snap drew. I forget what her actual name is now. I think, but yeah. Look at it. It's an old thing, and its expression's the green bean. Okay, it's
Pretty nice.
That's pretty nice. And then there's this thing which I haven't actually looked at in forever. That
nice and weird at the same time.
It is indeed. I don't remember who drew it. I wish I did. I feel bad that I don't remember who drew it. I want to say it was Spectrum, but I could be wrong. Anyways.
Kind of looks a bit like it could be Link. Like that art style-ish, I don't know.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're laying down. Would anything be triggered if I pet your whip?
I don't think I feel a whip when you pet a whip, so I don't feel.
Okay. Cause you know your whip's actually pretty sexy. I would do that whip.
Green Bean liking his whips.
Yep, I sure
Or other
do.
people's whips. I really feel like there's something I still want to say, but I don't know what it is.
Well, this has been going for a while, so that's understandable. But let's see. So we talked a good bit about Equestria Girls. And I don't know. That's always the unfortunate thing with videos like this, which is why this one's been gone on so long, because there's just topics get so open to the extent that there's just, you know, there's so much to talk about. That it just gets a little overwhelming.
Wait, I'm just gonna go advertise my story again. Go read it.
Go read Sapare's story.
You probably won't regret it.
You won't regret it, trust me. I read it, and I liked it. I don't read things.
And he didn't even read my other story, so that's something.
I know. I got into it, and then Dream Feather was like, Rainbow Dash, you're so stupid. And I was like, I'm sorry, Dream Feather, but you're wrong. Go home, you're drunk. You're drunk, and you should get back to writing.
Pretty sure he was home at that point.
He was home. Well, then he should stay at home and be like, oh, Rainbow Dash, I would do
Rainbow Dash's life if he didn't go. If he stayed at home, Rainbow Dash wouldn't be alive. That's totally spoilers, by the way.
That's pretty big spoilers, even for me.
But it's not my fault. It's just story is like over. It's like 2 years old by now. If it's not read, then you're never gonna read it.
Well, what is a story but a pile of spoilers?
Pretty accurate.
Yeah.
I mean, it is spoilers to itself.
Yes.
Yeah, Evil League of Jafars.
Oh yeah. The Evil League of Jafars are the best. Also, Sapare, have at you!
I don't like it. Or you.
Okay.
Yes, read my story. I don't know, that's the only thing I still got to say, I think. Because I can't figure out what I was supposed to be saying.
Yeah, alright, so you think you're ready to end the thing then?
I don't know, I'm deathly afraid of ending it.
You're definitely afraid of it. You're afraid that when you end it, we're just all going to explode.
I don't know, I have nothing left to do when I end it. Actually, I can play my games.
We could record things that aren't this.
At like 2 AM.
Oh man, it is like 2 AM, isn't it? Well,
1
I
AM.
don't know. Yeah, it's 1 AM. Well, we'll figure it out. Anyways, that's another reason this went on long, because we're both tired. But, we'll figure it out. But this was fun. So we talked about Equestria Girls. So, if you're Boney and you can think of things without being, like, super harsh on their story, I'd say go watch it, even though we already spoiled everything. So
I'm super harsh on every story, and I liked it. So I guess even if you're nitpicky, you should be fine.
Yeah.
And I hated a movie because they used crossbows wrong, so I'm nitpicky.
Yeah, well, that's fine. That movie sucked anyways.
He agrees with me. I'm surprised because everyone else is just like the movie is okay.
Yeah, I don't know, that movie, the first movie of the Chronicles of Narnia I actually kind of liked, but then
I don't remember.
it just went downhill. Yeah.
I just hated the second one.
Uh,
Fucking misuse of crossbows. Stop using fucking crossbows against people who don't even wear armor.
yeah, that is pretty silly.
And don't use crossbows to hunt someone down.
Yeah, there's both, those are both no, it's like, that's not a reason to use a crossbow.
Unless you're using a specific hunting crossbow,
overall, yeah.
I mean, they're hunting crossbows, but I haven't seen the movie in a while, but I'm pretty sure what they were using were not hunting crossbows.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I just...
Hunting crossbows are small, and I think they use, like, fucking siege crossbows.
Yeah.
Which, for some weird reason, still. Siege crossbows are somehow really not that deadly. I mean, the bows are so much more deadly. They can penetrate, like, plate armor on, like, 200 meters distance. Like, whatever they were shooting, like, 2 kilometers distance, and it still penetrates plate armor. Why are they even wearing plate armor if the plate armor doesn't fucking stop bow?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand. That's one of the reasons I'm like, there's a lot of things I didn't like about just the way they execute things in the movie.
And you might be like, well, it's fucking fantasy, but the thing is, well, it's fantasy, but it's kind of trying to be like Lord of the Rings, where like it's fantasy, but realism fantasy.
Yeah.
And then it's like, it's so not following medieval facts at all.
Yeah. Which, I think is one of the reasons that the book works better. Like, admittedly, I don't even remember if the books make these same mistakes. So I think the books worked better. I didn't love all of the books, but I say they work better because they go more out of their way to be fantasy than the movies do. Because the fantasies like that one had, like, sure, they were talking to animals and stuff, it still felt grounded. They didn't feel like, they didn't have that overall feel of magic, besides the fact that, oh, hey, animals can talk. And it's like, okay. And they're like, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all the magic you get. Animals are magic. That's like, okay. With the book, it's like this world was literally created by magic. This world, which is why everyone says Aslan
I don't like Lion Jesus. He's a fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, most of, like, I'm writing fan fictions in the universe. With Fluttershy, it's like, fucking Fluttershy. Celestia is like the most OP bitch ever. And yet Celestia feels less OP than fucking Lion Jesus.
Yeah, well, Lion Jesus is OP. And that's one of the things I didn't... even in the books, I didn't like the way he continually worked. But in the books, once again, it worked better because he usually didn't directly... It seems like in the show, he directly, like in the movies, he affects things more than he does in the books. Which in the books, it seems like he basically just does what he's like, okay, I'm Lion Jesus, and you guys should go do your own thing because I'm Jesus. But then in the books, he's even more OP. Because he fucking literally... there's a reason they call him Lion Jesus, besides the fact that he's OP, is that he literally fucking creates Narnia.
The thing is, the problem with him is, he's pretty much... Like, he's totally different, but in the same way, he's pretty much Gandalf, but worse.
Yeah.
It's like, he's kind of like OP, because Gandalf is kind of OP, but... Gandalf is even less OP than this guy is OP. And Gandalf is kind of almost a problematic story element, where like Gandalf is actually, in a story sense, Gandalf is kind of a bad character. Like, he's not a very good story. Like for a good story, it's not that good, but it's... Tolkien doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, Tolkien doesn't give a fuck. Because that is a fair point. I mean, even in The Hobbit, like, The Hobbit had it even more of a feel, because it was in this big epic war, and it always felt like if he wanted to, Gandalf could have just fucking gone on and done this quest himself. He could have just gone in there and been like, hey, dragon, you're a bitch. Magic. And fucking killed the dragon.
He could have fucking done that. And that's the problem, I guess, because Gandalf is a bit... But Lord of the Rings is so good that it kind of excuses it a bit because it's like itself, and it doesn't overdo it. But then it's here it like just overdoes it so much. It's kind of like if you had the Battle of Helm's Deep, but instead of Gandalf showing up with the Hirims, he literally shows up on his own and just beats everyone's ass.
Yeah, that is by far
That's
true.
pretty much what happens in the movie.
Yeah, it is. Aslan just shows up and kills everyone. It's like...
I felt like in most of the movie, I felt bad for the villains, because I'm like, You guys
you
are
have
so
to,
fucked.
yeah, you have to deal with Lion Jesus. Which actually I think is one of the big issues. I think that's why it's funny because that makes the main ones that they focus on for the movie some of the least interest. Like the Prince Caspian, I find that interesting. I remember there's this really interesting book in which it's after all of the kids from these books happen, that they're doing movies on, and, they kind of, like, Aslan's still vaguely there, but he's almost never actually there, so he never feels like Lion Jesus. Or if he does feel like Lion Jesus, it more feels like being the, like, Jesus in the idea of Jesus, rather than being there, being like, I'm Jesus and I can kill everything.
Yeah.
Because that's a really bad story element. But either way, darn it, it's not the best. I can't say by far what's the best book, and I don't even remember the books that well, but the movies have pulled it off mostly pretty poorly. And, especially the, ones after Prince Caspian in those, like, as a group, just didn't go
I didn't even watch any beyond that one, just because too many unrealistic facts. There's
yeah. Yeah, understandable.
Which is funny because I was like Bosmos and Cosmos, but some of the misrepresentation of Cosmos in that movie just pissed me off. And even the most picky, like, that's what I mean. I'm super nitpicky, but somehow the Pony movie got away with it, but this movie doesn't.
Yeah.
For this movie, I need to nitpick it apart just because it starts pissing me off, and then it never stops pissing me off.
Yeah. Also, something I'd like to mention in the books that made them make a little more sense, though it still didn't make much sense in them, though it made even less sense in the movie, is the fucking mice were bigger. Like, they were bigger than rats would be. In the books. So they were comparatively, they could actually, if they stabbed you, hurt. Like, these ones, they were mice-sized. It was like, if that stabbed me in the foot, I'd probably like, oh, okay, that hurt.
But because that's what I was wondering, back when the Prince Caspian runs away, and, like, these mice, like, run around and, like, cut the people's feet, but I'm like, okay, that would probably hurt, and it might even make him, like, stop running based on where you cut them, but pretty sure they wouldn't, like, go down and die.
Yeah, they wouldn't necessarily, and the books had that same thing.
And honestly, it just, the way it pisses me off was just, like, these guys are wearing, like, I'm pretty sure they wear, like, full plate armor most of the time. But then, like, these mice, like, the only way these mice could literally kill them is by cutting in between the armor plates, like, cutting where there is no armor.
Yeah.
And or, like, really the only place they could kill someone is by cutting their throat. So why doesn't everyone just have, like, a neck guard? Then the mice be, like, useless. Because they can't cut through the neck guard.
Yeah, they can't.
And in real life, I believe they actually normally had, like, these these neck guard things. I don't know if you've seen them before, but it's, like, it's kind of from armor.
I've seen them. In fact, I haven't seen them that much, but, I remember someone I used to talk to, I don't really talk to him anymore, but, they used to have a neck guard, cause they went to the, Renaissance Festival, and so they got a neck guard for that, I don't remember.
Yeah, it's really, I will say that I don't even know if neck guard is, like, the correct term. I just made that one up on the spot, but people know what I mean by it.
It's armor around the neck. It's literally what it says, and yeah, it prevents people from cutting your neck. Like, if there's someone...
like your throat or neck, like anywhere.
Yeah, exactly. So if someone comes up behind you with the knife and tries to stab you in the neck, they fail terribly, and you'd be like, oh, you're stupid. Don't you see the neck guard? And then you'd stab them in the dick.
Yeah. And I mean, and just, like, there's so many ways so many of these things that could have been easily avoided by these guys. For whatever reason, they decide, like, we are gonna bother producing full plate armor, but we are not gonna bother going that, like, minor extra distance to actually make our guys not die.
Yeah, cause why would anyone bother with that? That's super inefficient, making people not die.
Yeah, and I don't know. There's actually a lot of them, I guess. Like, why did the bad guys all have, like, these metal mask thingies? Because I know that you have like this mask thingy is a thing. The Japanese use it, but normally you make them out of wood because I'm pretty sure wearing metal on your face is very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And the
I
second thing
don't.
is, you
Yeah.
probably don't make these for everyone because it'd be super expensive to mass produce.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the third thing is,
Um.
why are you using them when you're fighting like woodland creatures? Like I'm pretty sure these guys are not gonna be morally just like broken by your face mask
Yeah.
because they are
Oh,
woodland
that
creatures.
was.
You make yourself look like a
Uh,
woodland creature with those masks, pretty much. You
yeah.
don't look that
It's
scary to them.
exactly. Overall, that was so silly. I don't even remember it. I remember like around the duel was when it started getting to that point that was like, I'm not even paying attention anymore, which was like the climax of the movie, and I'm like, I don't care.
So that was the point where I was paying the most attention, just because I kept getting pissed at stuff.
Yeah, I can understand that. I watched up to that point and I was like, no, I can't handle it. I can't do it. And, yeah,
Another one that I guess be interesting. I haven't seen a movie in like years, but I'm pretty sure they defeat like the first part by like riding under like the caverns below and like cutting the thing that's holding like the caverns up. You know, like in the
what,
big battle at the beginning, they like right down below.
wait. And what are we talking about?
Second movie, the Prince Caspian.
Oh, okay, the Prince Caspian movie, or,
They do the duel, and then they win the duel, but then the guy gets
mm-hmm,
killed by from his own guy, and then they do
right,
the battle, and I believe the bad guys do like a cavalry charge, and then
mm-hmm,
while they do the cavalry shots, the good guys like right below the ground, like in like a cavern below it, and they like cut the things holding up the floor, and then the floor
mm-hmm,
like breaks away. But I'm
yeah.
pretty sure that they cut they that it's not like wooden filers that they put there. Like I'm pretty sure it's like this cover that's still like these stone pillars kind of that holding up the floor. But I'm like, if you run your blade through that, you would ruin your fucking blade.
Yeah, I don't remember that part hardly at all, but that is true. Like, that isn't something that.
Also, the other question is, did they like was this cavern always there? Because like, why is there this giant cavern under the ground that like it's almost super easy to break down? Like, this is not a
Uh,
natural occurrence. Last I checked.
no, it isn't, which is another thing. There are a lot of those things, and like, I don't know why these
Also, the other thing
exist.
is, why are they defending a place? Like, okay, they got the caverns, which I guess make it good to
Mm.
defend. But other than wise, why are you defending a place that literally has only one exit? Like, this is the stupidest defense ever. Because, you know, like, at one
uh,
point, I think a trebuchet hits, like, the doorway, and then the stone,
uh,
like, break down, and the doorway, like, gets blocked. I'm like, well, you guys could have seen that coming a mile away.
yeah. That is an easy way to fuck yourself over because you got no escape if they block your escape.
Because even fucking Ham Steed actually has, like, passages that lead, like, deep into the mountains. And
Yeah.
Steep is like this fucking giant castle. Like, it's more reasonable to have that be a dead end.
Yeah, exactly. Cause yeah, if you got only one entrance into the thing, well, yeah, you're fucked. And I mean, even normally, simple things like goblins or whatever will have multiple things to a cave rather than one entrance.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like not actually that good a place to defend. Other than
Yeah.
the fact that there's a magic caverns under the ground, and then the three guys decide to show up. I think the reason why I dislike the movie is because all these guys just randomly show up to help the good guys. But there's not enough time invested to make it actually seem all that reasonable. It just seemed like if you were playing like a guy and he like just suddenly like he just like he like types in a cheat code and like, oh yeah, I spawned trees. It's like this is
Yeah.
super fucking unfair.
Yeah. That is one of that is by far. I guess that's something I hadn't thought about. That's by far why the movies fall flat behind the books because the movies didn't invest the times into it, and hell, they probably didn't have the time to invest the time into it. So yeah, there's no explanation between the characters, and
But I mean, like at
everything's
least
super
like with the
skipped
ends,
over.
like in Lord of the Rings, at least the ends still get enough screen time
Yeah,
that it
that you
makes
can
sense what they
understand
do.
them. Yeah. You don't just randomly see ents. So it is a really bad movie.
It's kind of like if in Lord of the Rings, like Pippin and Merry meet the Ents. They're like, "Hey, Ents, you wanna join us?" And then the Ents are like, "No." And then like 20 minutes later in the movie, and suddenly like destroy Isengard, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
This is totally not fair. I mean, I would feel like bad for someone because I'm like, this is cheating.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there's no reason why this person be allied with this here person. It'd be like, yeah, or it'd even
I mean,
be
like,
like
why does actually Jesus, Lion Jesus, even like ever help the good guys? Because what did the bad guys actually? The funny thing is, what did the bad guys actually ever do in that movie that was bad last night? I don't remember. They tried to kill the one guy, but it's like, okay.
Unfortunately, yeah. Unfortunately, it's been so long that I don't remember. I remember what the original bad guy did, which was the Queen, but I don't remember what these guys did. And hell,
but I mean,
Queen,
overall, like, I'm not even talking like in between them. Like, okay, they try to imprison Prince Caspian or like kill him or whatever. But I'm like, this is like in between the guys. Like, this is like just kingship stuff where like they kill each other. But what, like, is this really enough reason for, like, God to come down and be like, I'm just gonna murder, like, millions of people? Just because these kings are, like, douchebags to each other.
Yeah, I don't believe so. I don't remember the story that well.
Because the only other thing I think is, like, obviously they, like, industrialize, so they, like, cut down trees and, like, hurt the woodland creatures, but I'm like, wait, well, yeah, but that's not really your main reason.
I'm pretty sure, yeah, it's not. I'm pretty sure, that in the books they go, like I said, in the books they go into it more, cause that's how books usually are. I'm still not gonna say the books are perfect. It's been a while since I've read them. They're easy reads though, but, yeah, okay, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so in the books, I'm pretty sure it's not even one of those things that I think they go super in depth with, though I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's just the normal evil king thing who, you know, he for the sake of money and other stuff, on a common basis, you know, raises the taxes super high, and he, you know, and people are generally unhappy in his kingdom because he's a douchebag.
But I mean, like, if the people aren't openly revolting, that's no reason for Jesus to come down and kick his ass. Like, I'm just saying that this is not fair in any way. Like, if you were actually the guy, you would be like super pissed because this is totally like not fair.
Yeah, that is true. If I had slightly mistreated someone and then Jesus just came up? If Jesus just came down and bitch slapped me, I don't know, maybe it's evil Jesus, maybe he came up from hell, but
yeah, I guess that's one of the, like, there's so many reasons why I just didn't like the movie, but I guess that's one of them where it's like, isn't nobody supposed to be good over evil? The good guys are supposed to win because they like struggle so hard to win, and like, and they overcome all odds, but like in this movie it's like,
it's just
are they really the good guys? Because they would have lost. Normally the winner is the good guy, so the only reason they won is because Pony Jesus decided, not Pony Jesus, Lion Jesus decided to fuck them up.
Pony Jesus would have been much more interesting.
Yeah.
Lion Jesus, yeah, but yeah, that is true, and once again, that's one of the issues, and I think that's an issue with these particular books too, which makes any book without Aslan more interesting, because yeah, he does get rid of that feel that the good guys achieve something whenever he shows up, because it's like, well, you kind of did everything. In fact, why didn't you just do everything? I fucking hate you, Lion Jesus. You mess up all the stories by being Jesus.
Yeah.
You don't make Lion Mary Sues. Fucking Lion Mary Sues are the worst.
Yeah. And we are about to end for the recording. I wanna.
Yeah.
You can hear me, yes?
Yes. What were we saying?
Yeah, just the last thing I want to say, which is kind of unrelated to this, unrelated to everyone, but what I found funny. I remember that actually when I first watched this movie, I watched it with a friend, and I watched another movie with that friend before. Like, I watched it with a friend, but actually like watched it with a friend and his like parents, like his family.
Right.
And then I don't think they ever took me to another movie after that because I bitched about the movie that we watched before, which was the Crystal Skull, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, and I bitched a lot about that one. And then I bitched a lot about this one, but now I still feel justified to avoid bitching in both movies.
You certainly were fucking Crystal Skull. That was
But
that was the worst shit.
just so funny because I remember that in a way they probably ever regretted taking me to movies because every time we walked out I bitched about the movie that we watched, but it's like it's not my fault. These movies just make me bitch.
Yeah. It isn't. Yeah, that reminds me, one of the few times I've gotten annoyed at someone for bitching in a movie was at Scott Pilgrim, which I saw on my birthday. And I remember after we left the theater, I was one of the only few people who was really excited, was like hyped that they saw Scott Pilgrim. And I was like, it's a good movie, and I was like, I don't get it. What's wrong with it? And they they didn't have a specific thing they bitched about. They just they were generally unhappy. And I was like, well, whatever. Fuck you guys. It's my birthday.
The thing with the movie is, I like the movie. I've seen it multiple times, but it's a weird movie. I can't stay. The thing is, it's so weird that I can't really say what is good or what is bad about it.
Yeah, exactly. I can't either. I just can say I think it's a good movie.
I enjoy watching it, even if it's like it doesn't have any coherent storyline. It has no logic, reasoning, or really any characters that stick around. So it's such a random movie. It's like it's not even a movie almost.
Basically, so in fact,
and
it's funny
really what it's a bunch of sketches.
Yeah, it basically is.
It's like comedy sketches from back to back.
Yeah, it basically is, but it surprisingly works. It's amazing, and the main character, I forget what the actor's called.
I mean, I guess
he fits it together so well.
See, I tied it back with Equestria Girls. It's kind of like with Equestria Girls, but it works somehow. I'm not sure why, but it works. Yeah. Only that this one is smarter. It is smarter, obviously, than Equestria Girls, but yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, this guy wasn't restricted. He said, I would do Scott Pilgrim versus the World, and he did it better, in my opinion, better than the original did it. Like,
the original.
Yeah, I know. The original was comics. I think one of the things I like a lot more about the movies, than I like about the comics, is partially why I say it's brought together by the main character, is, the guy who plays the main character is in the movies. Scott Pilgrim is more lovable and a more believable character, in my opinion, as well. But he's a more lovable character. I like Scott Pilgrim in the movies. He's a cool guy. He's a weird guy, but he's a cool guy.
Yeah, I mean, you don't hate him or anything. He's fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's fun. He's a good character. If there was anyone who didn't like him as a character, I'd understand that. But I personally thought he was really good. I was like, yeah, everything about him makes sense.
I guess that's important. You could make a realistic character, but he still has to be kind of likable.
Yeah, exactly.
If he's the main character.
Yeah, exactly. And in the comics, the original person made it kind of didn't quite have that as much. I think the character wasn't. I didn't by far hate him in the original comics, but it wasn't nearly as. He didn't give me that likable feel. I never liked him completely, and he wasn't part of the thing that ironically he wasn't as stupid, which made him less likable. Cause the main character Scott Pilgrim versus the World, like in the movie, Michael Cena, I think it is. That's probably not right. Sarah, yeah, I think that's it. Anyways, he plays him really kind of stupid in a way. He doesn't feel like he has a lot of.
Because he's stupid, he can fault him less for things.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's stupid, you don't feel like he's a douchebag when he does things most of the time. Because it's like, well, he kind of doesn't seem to have that real control over exactly, he doesn't have that coherent thought of, I'm really hurting people doing this. It's more of just like, I'm moving through things and people tell me things, and I do stuff.
Yeah.
And it also works with the comedy, yeah, and it works with the comedy a lot better too. But so yeah, in the comic books, like, sometimes, like, that does give him a little more character redemption in the comic books, but most of the time, like, when he's, like, before he gets any kind of character building, he does come off as a lot worse of a person, and it makes him less fun, and even at the end, I didn't like him as much as I liked Michael Cena at the end. Michael Cera? God damn it. I can't remember the actor's name, I love him, though. Not literally,
any actors.
Huh?
I don't know any actors' names.
Yeah,
so.
I can understand that, but
I know that it says... Actually, no, I don't remember his name, so whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know any actors' names. That one guy who always dies in every movie he's ever been in.
I actually don't know who that is, surprisingly.
He's Boromir. He played Boromir, and then he played the Stark guy from Game of Thrones, the father guy.
Yeah. I know who you're talking about now. I still don't know his name directly, but yeah, that guy. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so he's more amusing at the end. The ending is really good, and his character, and he does redeem his character at the end of the movie, despite the fact that it's not very coherent. Yeah, he kind of, you know, rights his wrong. He understands what he did, and he, you know, he can't take it back, but he does his best to do a thing about it. Which in the comic, I guess he kind of does, but it feels like he even does less of a thing in a comic than he did in the movie, where in the movie he's like, yeah, I'm really sorry, you know.
He also killed 7 people.
He killed 7 people, and they all turned into money.
Which I don't really get, but I don't think there's a lot of things I get in that movie.
Yeah, I understand why.
Which is funny, because a lot of people are like, well, it's a video game movie, like, this stuff you get if you know video games, but I'm like, no, you can know as many video games in the world, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's one of those funny things that I like that in the movie, and even I've been playing video games forever, but it doesn't. Like, there are not very many games you directly just kill someone and they automatically turn into money. Like, they'll sometimes drop money.
Even if there's a game like that, it's like, this is not really directly referencing exactly that game.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's never, like, coins don't normally pop out. Like, well, like if you're playing one of the old GTA games and you shoot someone and money falls off their body, it doesn't, like, they don't burst into coins, it just, some dollars fall off their body.
Yeah, she gets going, yeah. I don't think, yeah, okay, actually, score and money, I think, is the same thing in that game, yeah.
Yeah. I don't directly remember the old GTA very well, but I'm pretty sure I remember money was a thing that might not have directly been a thing. I think it's still dropped, but anyways.
But it doesn't drop, it pops up as a number, and then the number goes away, but the number that it adds to your overall money.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, so any system, I can't think of any direct, it wasn't direct reference to anything. It wasn't direct reference to Double Dragon. It wasn't direct reference to any, like, RPG game, because...
I mean, the movie wasn't really that, and the movie wasn't really a movie that, there's a pony thing. It's like, yeah, you get this if you watch ponies. Like, the pony movie makes way more sense if you watch ponies, because you get all the inside jokes.
Yeah.
But this movie wasn't really about inside jokes. Like, it didn't really have any inside jokes that were like, oh, this is a video game reference or anything. It just,
exactly.
This is a really random movie.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you know something about video games, you should be able to watch Scott Pilgrim and understand it as well as anyone else.
Which is not that much, but you still like it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Now, if you don't know anything about video games, you're gonna be like, well, I don't get it at all, and you're probably gonna feel stupid, and you're probably gonna be stupid.
Actually, I think you would be like, I don't get it at all, but no one else gets it that much. I think you don't even need to know anything about video games, unless, as long as you know that there's such a thing as electricity, I think you'd be fine if you watch that movie.
That's probably true.
Because, I mean, you probably at least know what, rock music is, and you know what regions are, and you know what people are. I think you'd be fine as long as you're a human being.
Yeah. That's actually true, because there's indeed that. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, I liked it. the most direct video game reference, which still isn't a direct video game reference, is when he, pulls the sword out of himself and he gets a little level up thing, but that's still not very high referencey. That's just stating that he leveled up, which is something you do in video games, but it's not referencing anything in particular. I can't think of a game where I pulled a flaming sword out of my chest.
Yeah, okay, that was actually close to, like, a direct video game reference, but even then, it's like, this is, like, you could never have played a video game in your life, and you still would kind of get that.
Yeah.
I assume, at least, you would still kind of get that.
Yeah, I think so, too. I wish I could pull flaming swords out of my chest.
I don't. That sounds really painful.
Actually, I was gonna say that. It even, like, I don't remember if it looked painful in the cup, but in the movie, he actually, like, it looked painful when he was pulling that shit out. I was like,
yeah.
Oh. I'm kind of glad, actually, that I don't have flaming swords coming out of my chest.
I'm not sure what you would do with it anyway.
I don't know either. That'd be even worse if they were flaming halberds.
God, that'd be like super painful. Not to mention you would have to pull out like a meter of like wooden stick out of your chest.
Yeah. It'd be the worst. Anyways, yes. Okay. So for one, everyone, read Sapare's thing. Do it now. It's in the description.
For another, watch Equestria Girls.
For 2, yes, watch Equestria Girls. Do it.
For 3, watch SpongeBob the movie.
Yeah. For 4, watch Scott Pilgrim the movie. And for 5, do this to Sapare's ears very, very vigorously. While you're watching the video. Do it. Do it. Just pause the video and do this. A lot.
It's a good thing is my screen share actually froze, so I'm just gonna nod.
Yeah. Well, everyone knows what I'm doing. Everyone, you know what I'm doing to you. Everyone, yeah. So just do that Sapare's ear, and you'll have a good time. Yep. And thank you all for watching, and may you all have a good day and a good night, and see y'all next time.
Take care.